holiday season has come and gone. 2020 is nearing an end. Everybody's rolling out their best games of 2020 lists, and we are here to talk about the news that happened last week because there were some interesting things that happened. We're going to be exploring a KFConsole. We're going to be discussing a lawsuit that got filed against Cyberpunk 2077, and we will be diving into some very interesting games that are coming your way. But before we get into any of that, we're going to start with Konami revealing a brand new YuGiOh game at Jump Fiesta 2021. It's going to be called YuGiOh Rush Duel, and it's going to take on the YuGiOh 7's season. So it's going to be the most recent season out of the YuGiOh franchise. Its predecessor was YuGiOh Duel Link Evolution, which released back in April of 2019, and that game allowed everybody to play from the original series all the way up to Arc 5. So this one is going to be the most recent of the YuGiOh franchise in terms of series, and it's going to really pump brand new life into this franchise. Now, it's going to have the same rule system and deck building system of Duel Link's Evolution, but it's still going to be really refreshing to see a brand new game with all of these characters from that season. It's exciting for anybody who's a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. It's going to be a really great game to get a hold of. Now, as I said, there's no release date that has been announced at this point, but I would anticipate that this game is going to be released sometime in the second quarter or summer of 2021. Now, next thing we're going to get into is End Night Games. Now, The Forest was a big game that released back in 2014. It released first to early access on Steam, and then 4 years later, it finally released as a full version in 2018. There's a sequel on the way for this game called Sons of the Forest. This game is going to be the same as its predecessor, a first-person open-world survival horror simulator, and the game will be releasing to PC at some time in 2021. Breaking away from the original Forest game, however, this title will only be releasing for PC. It will not be releasing for PlayStation like The Forest. This could be due to the fact that next-gen consoles have just been released, or they could just be waiting until they are closer to launch to reveal that they will be partnering with PlayStation to release on their console. That is yet to be decided, but at this point, we only have this game releasing on PC. It has a very interesting look to it, and it's going to be exploring kind of the same premise as its first game from the looks of the trailer. However, there are very few details on this game at the moment. So for now, we can really only look at this trailer and kind of dissect what we have so far. Now we're going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. I have talked about this game every single week since its launch, and it shows no signs of slowing down. This time, however, it's a little bit different than the weeks past. This one, we are going to be talking about a class action lawsuit filed against CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk 2077. Now, I'm going to get into the details here. There's a lot of really technical things. I did link the actual lawsuit document below, so definitely check that out because there's a lot of really crucial information on why this lawsuit is being filed. It has not gone to court yet, and most likely this case will be settled long before it ever makes it to that point. So the lawsuit is being filed by investor Andrew Tramp through Rosen Law Firm, and it's on behalf of all investors who were damaged by the game's poor launch and subsequent drop in share prices. The main focus of this class action lawsuit is the impact on stock shares and subsequently thereafter stockholders. Now, in layman's terms, this lawsuit is meant to compensate stockholders after a considerable drop in their share prices following the game's launch. Some of these stocks actually dropped up to 30, 40, and 50%. This is a huge amount of money that stockholders lost because of this game. It focuses on CD Projekt Red's lack of transparency and manipulation amidst its multiple delays leading up to launch and statements thereafter. Breaking this down, CD Projekt Red had released a series of different statements regarding this game leading up to launch and several after its launch. These statements surrounding the multiple delays were basically to tell gamers and stockholders that they were delaying the game due to the fact that this game was not quite ready. There were still bugs, there was issues that were within the game itself, and they were trying to polish it and make sure it was ready to go. After launch, the developers at CD Projekt Red admitted that they were not ready for launch, and in fact that they had not understood the magnitude of the project they had taken on. Now, these statements before and after launch clash with each other because one is saying that they were trying to fix bugs and polish the game, while the other is basically saying that they were not ready and they did not understand the tasks at hand before them. So these two statements are really in contrast to each other, and it does not fully make sense to stockholders, and this is why this lawsuit is being filed. Will this ever get to court? This is most likely going to be settled long before that. CD Projekt Red will pay out its stockholders, and from there this class action lawsuit will be dropped. However, the damage is done, and while CD Projekt Red will recover from this, most likely with Cyberpunk multiplayer, next year. CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 may never recover simply because this month and these few weeks have been so damaging for this game. However, moving on, we are going to be talking about KFC. Kentucky Fried Chicken is at it again with their shenanigans. I'm talking about the KFConsole. Now, the KFConsole originally debuted in June of this year, and while everybody thought that it was just a gag that KFC was pushing out to try to get some publicity, there's apparently a little bit more meat on the bone than we suspected. The KFCconsole is back with a brand new trailer last week that was over the top, and it was everything we could have wanted. Now, is this really coming out? Is this console really going to be releasing? We have no idea at this point. The game console is apparently being developed by Cool Masters alongside KFC. It has an actual website where it says, and I quote, "Enjoy smooth and fluid high frame rate gameplay at up to 240 frames per second for all games with support for 240 Hz output on 4K displays and its own chicken chamber to heat the chicken while you play." Ladies and gentlemen, I can't make this up. This could be a thing in 2021, and if it is, I think we can all say we'll be going out to get one. I know that I will. Now, moving back into the regular gaming world, we're going to be talking about gaming accessory company Dbrand. Now, Dbrand is well known for making all kinds of different skins and other accessories for gamers. They are going to be making an OEM faceplate for the PlayStation 5. They released a statement on Reddit earlier this week. They said that they will be going into mass production at the end of this year. However, it will not release until they are ready, and they are fully stocked in their Toronto HQ. They did also add that while PlayStation 5 did sell out almost immediately, they do also expect these faceplates to sell out very quickly. And they said, don't panic, this is going to be a staple product for them in the coming season in 2021, and they will restock them. There's going to be a link below. If you're interested in these faceplates, they said sign up now so you can get the notifications when they go live. That is below, so definitely check that out if you want these plates come launch. They look really cool. It looks really sleek. And while this isn't a partnership, and there is some risk of Sony suing Dbrand over this, there is also no actual PlayStation logos on any of these faceplates, so it is going to be a difficult lawsuit for them to approach from that standpoint. Finally, we're going to go to Techland. Now, Techland's Dying Light released in 2015, and it had rave reviews on launch. People loved this game. It was an open world zombie apocalyptic game, and it hit on so many different notes. It was so well made, and it was a very exciting game to really dive into. Dying Light 2 was actually revealed 3 years later in 2018 with an announcement trailer, and while the game was originally set to release in 2020, it was delayed back in January, and we have no actual release date at this point. However, Techland did release a statement on Dying Light on the Discord server for the game itself, and they said we'll have fresh updates about Dying Light coming in the new year. Does this mean they're going to have these in January? Does it mean they're going to have it in E3 of 2021? They didn't really narrow it down. However, I would anticipate them to have a little bit more news in January or February of next year, and then a much more in-depth trailer coming at E3 in 2021, with potentially a launch in the fourth quarter of 2021 or early 2022. Now, this game did have an announcement trailer. They have a website with a little bit more additional information. It looks like it's going to be a much larger game and have a much more aggressive approach to how you will really interact with the world around you. And it looks like it's really going to take Dying Light up to a whole nother level and really change how you can affect the world around you. The website is going to be linked below, so if you're really interested in that, definitely check that out. But we are going to head finally to the releases that happened last week. It was a little bit quiet because of the Christmas season. However, there were two big launches. The first of those launches is Super Meat Boy Forever. Now, this is a sequel to Meat Boy, which came out in 2010. And for those of you who don't know, it's an indie game. It was a platformer developed by Team Meat, and it's developed for all platforms. The original title was very, very popular when it released, and this game is looking to add to that and really, really immerse you into 7,000 levels. So you're going to be taking on a whole lot of meat, boy. Past that, we are heading to another game that actually launched back in January on PC, but it is heading to Xbox at last. I'm talking about Rune, The Adventures of the Unlucky Gnome. What? That is a mouthful of a title, but it is a great looking game. If you did not play this on PC already and you don't know what this game is, it's a puzzle platformer set in a beautiful digitally painted fantasy world alongside just an incredible soundtrack. Everything about this game is stunning, it's very immersive, it just is a very fun game for everybody who wants to go in and not have too much going on and just relax and play a fun, interesting story. It released on Xbox in the middle of last week, and it is a very, very great addition to that console. Now, that is all I have for this week, everybody. The holiday season's come and gone. The new year is almost upon us. This is a very exciting time. 2021 is going to be a great year for all of you gamers. So get ready, buckle in, and tell me what you are most excited about, because I want to know. I say it every week. I'm going to say it again. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know your thoughts. This is only made possible by you. It's like PBS, guys. I'll see y'all next week, though. Take it easy.